We have joy, we have fun, yada, yada, yada. Okay, waiting for my computer as per normal. We'll see if it comes up. See if we get this all going. Do 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 do. Here comes my screen. I can see me. Okay. I don't know why it seems a little dark. All the lights are on. Sorry about that. All right. Amish at Heart says 5x5. Healthy disrespect. Last Boy Scout. They're fly by me. Okay. All right. I'm seeing a bunch of 5x5s. Greetings, everybody. Happy Saturday night. We are here again. Long day. I've been up since quarter after 4. Uh, so, yeah, going all day. Eyes are a little tired. So, when this is done, I'm going to bed. Uh, Interesting day today. You guys saw the lunch video. How to make a soup. Ooh. But good way to get rid of boatloads of squash. And then I did the morning one, which got a lot of comments on there today. The sad part was a lot of y'all telling us about people that you know that were defrauding the system and everything. And every time, I saw stories, somebody's got a $5,000 balance, an $8,000 balance on an EBT card. It's like, really? $8,000 worth of food? Right? Hell, you could easily stock a prepper pantry for a couple of years on 8,000 bucks. Okay. But just sad that all the crooks are ruining it for the people that actually need/deserve the assistance, and ruining it for everybody else who actually pays in cash. So, yeah, but your comments were very interesting to read today, seeing some of that. I'd highly suggest people go read some of the comments and see some of it so you have an idea what's really going on. So we'll start out tonight. It was a little bit of a sad day in, I don't know what you want to call it, daytime television, or Bob Barker died today. He was 99 years old. Now, he left The Price is Right back in 2007. Back then they were giving away cars and vacations as, the super showcase or whatever it was called. Drew Carey's taken over for the last 15 years or whatever. Now at the end of the show, they're bidding $25,000 or whatever on a cart of groceries. That's kind of what Bidenomics has done to us. But, unless, of course, you got food stamps, then, of course, it's like zero. But that was that. Then, of course, we had, get this is actually realistic. Biden has an alcohol czar. Okay. I'll give you this, that came out and wants to change the recommended weekly, alcohol intake recommended. So it's not like this is going to be held accountable to the equivalent of 2 beers a week. And of course, Bud Light's going, woo, our sales are going to double with that recommendation. But, yeah, let's see how well that one goes over. I saw that. I'm like, we have an alcohol czar, really? Those are the important things. I mean, this is what Joe's working on this week. I mean, we got another fire that's apparently started in Maui today, and we've got, in the last 24 hours, we've got alcohol consumption regulation suggestions coming out of Washington, and Joe is trying to ban ceiling fans now. You now have to buy more energy efficient ceiling fans, or because, hey, we need to replace all of the ones that we have that work perfectly fine, that use so little energy as is, but we need to buy ones that are more energy efficient that cost 3 times as much because, they're made in China, and Joe's probably got some sort of kickback deal worth, I don't know, maybe around 10%. So, yeah, those are some of the funny things that have happened here in the last 24 hours. It's just, you look at this and you go, how in the world are we going to make it through the next year? It's just, the idiocy, the lack of living in the real world for a lot of people. It amazes me. But yeah, so we get into that. So I hope you all had a good Saturday, productive, doing whatever you did. I know tons of you said today that you were doing the same thing I was, and harvesting and canning or building chicken coops or something of the sort. But you know, doing something that's going to better yourself. Okay, that's going to get you prepped for the future. And if nothing ever happens, okay, if by some sort of act of God, because I certainly can't say act of Congress, we come out of this Biden disaster still whole as a country somehow, and nothing ever happens, great. You know what? You've got a whole bunch of food in your pantry that you can easily have for dinner and save on groceries. I mean, Mrs. P and I this week had, let's see, we had beef stew for dinner one night this week that I made last August, so it was a year old. And then last night we had a chicken stew, kind of like a chicken a la king, that I made in January of 2022. And I looked at her and I'm like, well, at least the dinner we had tonight was on last year's economy. So, just like, okay. But, I mean, that's the thing, everything that you're doing, if the world goes to shit, you're ready. If the world doesn't go to shit, you're ahead of the game, And it's so funny to see people freaking out, oh my God, this is happening. Like I said in the video the other day about moving out to the country. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But why didn't you do it a couple of years ago? Okay, maybe you were still in college, or, maybe something, life got in the way. I get that. Okay. But who in their right mind goes, you know what? Mortgage rates are at a 20 plus year high, and housing markets are at a peak. This is a good time to go buy something. You're going to sell. Sure, you're selling at the top. The problem is you got to buy at the top somewhere else. Greatest case scenario, you sell at the top here, and maybe you ride it out, cross your fingers that all works well, and that the market does sell off, come back to a little bit of reality, and you can buy at fair market value, instead of buying at the inflated prices. But you got to have somewhere to go. So, but I just wanted to start tonight by just telling everybody, good, you're doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. What I do is different than what y'all do. I mean, we all have to do this on our own. But, when you go to bed tonight, go to bed and go, you know what? If everything's okay, I'm okay. And if everything goes to shit, I'm okay. Because there's a lot of people that go, holy crap, if this all goes to shit, what am I going to do? So, I mean, be proud of yourself for what you've done. You've done a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, I mean, you guys probably see it on YouTube. They're freaking out. They're like, oh my God, the world's going to explode. I think I'm ready. I'm pretending I'm ready. But you know your readiness. None of us are ever 100% ready. We're never going to get there. Like I've said many times, prepping is a journey. It's not a destination. We don't know what's going to happen between now and tomorrow morning, but we know that we're going to be able to eat tomorrow, or we're going to be able to stay cool tomorrow, or we're going to have water tomorrow. We're going to have a roof over our head tomorrow. And there's a lot of people that don't. And, I look at them and I go, hey, congratulations. No, you can't have a tomato. Go eat that brand new jet ski you just bought. That was your priority. I got no problem with somebody buying a jet ski. You got enough food to make it through any sort of crisis? No. Okay, then your priorities are screwed. Just my thoughts. Okay. Well, greetings to everybody again tonight. There's my little thoughts running through my squirrel cage. Welcome to everybody. Moderators, thank you again for being here. You are one short tonight. Mammy has uh, family over, so she's not going to be here tonight. I will let the mods know. You might want to be on your toes a little bit tonight. The Looney Tunes, the wannabes, the snowflakes are out in force today. They were hitting up on the comment section relatively hard today with, their, oh, you don't know what you're doing, bitching at other people in the comments and stuff like that. A couple of you sent me emails saying, can you take care of this? And absolutely, I'll take care of that. And I appreciate you guys kind of helping me police it, because I have no patience for, jackwads that want to come in here. So, but mods, just pay attention a little bit close tonight. And you know the deal. If they're being an ass, they're gonna get a boot in the ass. So that's about it. All right. We'll get into a Q&A here as per normal. If you got questions for me, please put it in all caps. Makes it a hell of a lot easier for me to scroll through the chat and find questions directed at me. As always, I'll tell you, I totally encourage you guys to have conversations amongst yourselves. Pay attention to the chat. Maybe somebody else will have an answer to a question in case I don't get to yours, or I don't know, which is very possible. I don't know everything. So, pay attention to the chats if you got a question. I'll try to get through as many as I can, and we'll go from there. And like I said, just, all I ask is keep it polite, keep it civil, keep it friendly. We are all here to spend an hour together for a little bit of camaraderie, fellowship, whatever. And, there's no place for mental midgets in here. So, the guys that think they know everything, and then you actually listen to them and go, you couldn't pee your way out of a paper bag. So that's about it. All right, so let me get to the top and we will see what we got. My eyes are tired, guys, so it might be a little slower because I've got the computer pushed a little bit further back and it's still looking a little okay, a little fuzzy, but we'll get it here. So I'll do the best I can. So if I trip over something, that's what it is. Okay, all the way to the top. Let's see what we got. Okay. Heather Bray, thoughts about getting coins from the mint, like the silver proof set, any value? Okay, and again, this is going to be completely up to you. And again, this is my opinion, right? Is I don't care about Silver Eagles or Walking Liberties or Maple Leafs or anything like that. I'm not looking at any sort of gold, silver coin for numismatic value, okay, collector's value. I am looking at it for silver content or gold content. That's what I'm looking for. Me personally, with gold, I prefer the 1 ounce bars to the coins because they come in assay, which means they're certified. They're in a little plastic case with a serial number on it. Okay, so makes it very easy to see that they're real. If you want to buy, Silver Eagles, or you want to buy Walking Liberties or whatever, Maple Leafs, I mean, yes, I understand. Those are minted by the government. So they are technically, well, not technically, they are actually legal tender. But, anybody that's going to take a 1 ounce gold piece and go, hey, that's a $20 gold piece, it's worth $2,000, you're going to use it for face value. No. What you're saving silver and gold for is up to you. There's the other thing. Are you saving it as an inflation hedge? If you are, then just silver. If you're saving it because you're a coin collector, then hey, maybe go for the numismatic value stuff. If you are saving it for SHTF as currency, nobody's going to care if it's a Walking Liberty or if it's a Sunshine Mint, who knows what on there, okay? They're going to be looking for the value of silver in it. So my thought is get what you can. 3 nines minimum, 4 nines is better at the lowest dollar price you can get. Because if silver, let's just say silver goes to $50 an ounce, okay? All right, whatever you're buying right now, what's silver? About 24, add premium on there, you're about talking about 27-ish, somewhere thereabouts. You're going to make 80% return on your money. But if you went and bought a Silver Eagle, which you're probably paying $31, $32 for right now, and silver's at 50 bucks, all right, now you made 60%. You know, unless of course you find another collector who is looking for numismatic value. I know it's confusing because there's different ways it goes, but you got to decide. The first thing you need to decide: am I a collector or am I a stacker? And in my gold and silver purchases, I'm a stacker. Okay, I'm looking for silver content, not collector's value. All right, Martha Henninger, have your borscht recipe. It's great. How about a sweet and sour version? It's not my borscht recipe. It's Mrs. P's. So I don't know if there's a sweet and sour version to it. I mean, she makes it. I just when she tells me go cut tomatoes or go dice beets or whatever it is, I'm just like, yes, mom. Okay, and do what I'm told. That's it. There's some recipes that are on there that are hers. I don't mess with. Okay, I'm sorry. The guy who grew up in Chicago is not going to tell the Russian woman how to make borscht. It's just not going to happen. So, she's not going to tell me how to make a cheeseburger. I'm not going to tell her how to make a borscht. I'm not going to tell her how to make stroganoff. It's like there's some things that's like inherent. It's like they're born with that knowledge. All right, let's see. That's wrong. Come on, computer. There we go. Let's see. Showcase Showdown. Let's go. Let's go Liberty Lou. There you go. I couldn't remember what it is. I haven't watched Prices Right. I haven't watched TV in 5 years. I haven't watched Prices. Well, I can't say 5 years. At least two. We haven't had TV in the house. I probably haven't seen The Price is Right. I've never seen an episode of Drew Carey, and so if he's been on since 2007, that means I haven't watched Price is Right in at least 16 years. Let's see. Somebody said borscht is Russian, not Oriental. Yeah. Yes. Mrs. P's last maiden name was not Wu. Okay. Autumn West, as a Kroger cashier, balances after $1,500 purchase, still 3,000 plus. Of course, couldn't speaking. Okay, I'm gonna try to decipher this. As a Kroger cashier, I'm assuming this is somebody's balance after a $1,500 purchase was still $3,000. Of course, I couldn't speak English. That's the other problem. We're handing out EBT cards to the illegals as they walk across the border. Go, here's your phone. Here's your food stamps. Here's the keys to your apartment. Oh, by the way, that you wanted that Corvette. Give us a couple of weeks. We'll figure that one out for you too. The guy's going, cool. That way I can run my drugs and my children and kidnap people faster. Yeah. Sunshine 67, make your own booze. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to sit. I mean, and again, we're not talking CBDC, but I mean, can you imagine? It's like, I'm sorry, sir. The administration has determined that you're only allowed to buy 2 beers a week. Okay. Yeah. At that point, yes, making your own booze or learning how to make your own wines or Applejack, which I've showed you guys how to do, how to, work a still. Might come in handy. So, Swamp Ninja, they tried prohibition. Did this numbnut get the memo? No, you got to remember what liberals do. If they don't like history, they ignore it or rewrite it. So, that whole, 10, 12-year period or whatever it was, I mean, what was it, like late teens to late 20s with prohibition, they'll just ignore that part. It's like, well, that never really happened. So yeah, and exactly. Ken Harrison says moonshiners come forward. Yeah, I mean, prohibition was what brought about the advent of NASCAR. I mean, the highway that runs, the nearest one to me, it's a 2-lane highway. It was one of the biggest moonshining highways in the 1910s, 1920s, up and down that high. I mean, and you got to know something about Tennessee. Those of you that live here will agree with me. There is not a single straight road in Tennessee, none. Okay, and so you got guys who, back in the day were going down these roads that go like this and through the mountains and everything, and flying. I mean, drive around, yeah, off the side of the road, 100-foot cliff, no big deal. But yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen. The moonshiners will come in again. I mean, we've got a different mob running the country right now than we had in the 20s, but it's the same principle. Let's see. Somebody, hang on a second. I missed it. It was there, and now, of course, I'm going to try to find it. Am I going to find it? What happened? There it was. Is it Mand sent the super sticker, Mand? It says Mand ... So I'm assuming that's what it is. Thank you for the super sticker, though. I don't mean to miss you. I kind of got up in that other answer and then I forgot about it here. So it's like light bulb went off. Okay, let me find where I was again. I was like, okay, I don't want to be rude and not acknowledge that. Squirrel, can citrons that look like watermelon be used for making anything edible? Okay. By citrons, I'm assuming you're talking lemons, and I have no idea. I've never seen a lemon that looks like a watermelon. I'm not going to be the right one to answer that. Maybe somebody who's down in Florida, southern Texas, Arizona, wherever where they grow a lot of citrus, maybe they can answer. I'm not the guy for that. Sorry. Let's see. Scroll in. Danny D, good evening, Pinball. Is my AC repaired? $2,800 later, yes. It turned out, yeah, they wanted to put it, I could put a new coil in the old unit. That was going to be $2,300, or I could put just a new unit in that had a 10-year warranty on it for $2,800. I'm like, I could just see it. I mean, I'm going to put the coil in there, and 3 months from now, the compressor will go or something. I'm like, screw it, put it in there. It's like, God, just what I need. Yeah, so this month's budget is completely blown. So I wonder why we're having vegetable soup for dinner. But at least, yeah, and like I joked with the guy, he goes, I said, got to go out when it's 90 some odd degrees out. Tomorrow it's supposed to be like 82, and Tuesday it's supposed to be like 77 here or something like that. AC's got to go out when it's 90. Ellen Knipe, when should I turn over a new plot? Turn over a new plot for next year's garden. I would wait until your first frost, so the grass goes dormant. I mean, because I'm going to take a guess at what you're talking about. It's going to turn over a new plot. Guys, if you've never done this before, what you'll do is you'll go in with like a sod cutter or something like that. I'm assuming what Ellen's talking about here. Cut out all the sod, flip it over so the grass is now the green grass is now down. That will start to decompose and put a little bit of organic matter in between your soil, which probably be about 3 inches deep, and the native soil at that point. And then you can pile the crap out of your everything that you're ripping out in the fall. Okay. I mean, your tomato plants, your pepper plants, any sort of anything that you have that's organic, weeds, grass clippings, leaves, everything, and pile that all on top of the flipped over grass. That will be the best way to get started, and then let that do its thing over the winter. Come spring, you're going to have to till it up, but that grass underneath should have rotted out. The grass on the top, even if it's not completely rotted, you're going to till that in with the soil, and at least you're going to get yourself a 3 to 4 inch base in the first year off of something that's going to be halfway decent to grow in. So but I would wait until your first frost. Reason being is you don't want to flip that soil over and the roots are still alive and the roots are going, well, hell, we're not growing that way anymore. We'll turn around and then you got grass on the bottom, grass on the top, and you defeated the whole purpose. Okay, so basically you're waiting for the grass to go dormant. If it's bare ground that you don't have to deal with grass or something like that, start now. Just start dumping any sort of yard waste, anything on the bare ground, and let the worms start working on it. Booney June, how is the book 5 years after? I do not know. One of y'all said that when they finish reading it, they are going to send it to me. So I will probably, my guess is, because those books are ones you don't put down. You're like, okay, what are you going to do today? I'm going to read a book. You sit on the couch, you go, I've been here for 7 hours, so I'm betting I'm probably going to have that book by the end of the week. So, but I will inevitably read that quickly. The last couple I went through in, a few days and I was done with them because you want to know what's going to happen next, especially preppers. Linda Friesen, have I tried to salt meat for long-term preservation? No, that's one thing I've never done. I know people who have, but it is something that I have never done. So, smoking meat, yes, I can do that. Canning, dehydrating, I can't freeze dry. I'm not spending $4,000 on a freeze dryer. I've made jerky. That's not a problem, anything like that. But as for salting meat, no, I have not done that. It's probably something that I should figure out how to do here pretty quick and maybe practice and just take a pack of pork chops or something like that and see, or take a roast and see if I can salt it and put it away for 6 months and then see if it's green or not. If it's got fuzz on it, I know I screwed it up. If it doesn't, I'll see if it's worth eating. David Walker, manual hand pump well thoughts. Definitely worth having if it's possible. Okay, there's the catch. A lot of you guys say, oh, your well is 20 feet deep or something. You got a 20-foot deep well in your backyard. You could practically dig that yourself. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and depending on your soil. My well's 330 feet. Okay. There's not a hand well that's going to do with that. There probably is one out there. Okay. But there's not a practical hand well for me that I'm going to do 330 feet. If you've got a relatively shallow well or you've got a spring or something nearby, yeah, it's a great idea for a way to get water. If you got a deep well like we do, it's not practical. So the first thing you need to find out is how deep do you have to go? If you've got a well on your property, how deep did they have to go for that one? If it's new property, call the local drilling company and say, hey, what did the person at 123, I just bought 125 Main Street. How deep did the person at 123 Main Street have to go? And if they tell you, oh, we got to go 30 feet, okay, maybe. If they tell you, oh, we got to go 500 feet, okay, hand well's out. So, yeah. Moonlight Gardener, am I considering a meetup this year? I haven't even put an ounce of effort into, if you wouldn't have just said something, I hadn't even thought about it here since a couple of months ago when somebody had mentioned it, which means basically at that point that highly doubtful, because we're at the end of August, and last year I think I had to reserve or 2 years ago, I had to reserve the place that we were at like June to get it in October. So my apologies. No, I never got around to it. So I guess not this year. Sorry. Susan Lathrop, water bath canned my first bushel of pureed tomatoes. Not much younger than Pinball. Used to help Mom all the time, so I remembered a lot. Glad she was on standby, though. That's a lot of canning, doing a bushel full. Because, what are you talking? I got to think a bushel is going to be probably 50 pounds of tomatoes. So, you had to get yourself, at least 4 canners full of it, going through. So, but yeah, now you know you've got tomatoes to use for pretty much anything you need all through the winter. Unless you're a huge Italian family and you have you know plates of spaghetti like that on the table on Sunday. But yeah, you should be okay. Uh, Diane S. Do I make jerky for my preps? If so, how do you do it? Maybe I'll do a video on it. I make it right in the oven. It's actually pretty easy. It's just a matter of it's kind of like smoking meat. It's low and slow, and you're just trying to dry out the meat. You're not trying to cook it, but you're not trying to dehydrate it. So there's a difference there between drying and dehydrating. Let's see. D Freak, thoughts on protecting homes from looters during fire evacuations? Well, if you're getting evacuated from your house, what the hell are the looters doing there? If I'm seeing gangs of whatever running up and down the street, I ain't leaving. It's a fire evacuation. You get them out of here first, and then come talk to me. Other than that, I'll stay here and protect my damn house. Okay. It's amazing. And again, this is the typical leftist mentality. Let's get all the good guys, out, and we'll let the bad guys run free. It's kind of like the whole gun control thing. Well, we want to take away all the guns from everybody. Well, we're going to take them away from the good guys. You're going to go after the bad guys? Nah, we don't know where they are. Oh, okay, so you're just going to take it away from me. Same thing with fire evacuation. We'll let all the looters run around. We just want the homeowners to leave. Right here. Think. Yeah. Okay. Joe Shinpod. Stores here stocked, some thin spots. Produce good. I saw some comments today. Some of you guys were saying, and more of you were out west, I think it was, that were saying that the produce aisles in the stores were crap. I've seen some light spots here. What I've seen here lately is dairy is what's weak around by me. Whether there's no milk, which I told you guys about at Walmart a week or so ago. Mrs. P and I were at the grocery store, what's today, Saturday, Thursday, and there was next to nothing in the way of butter, sour cream, cottage cheese, anything like that. There was a little on the shelf, but they were trying to fill it in with like margarine and stuff like that. It was like, I'm looking for butter. It's like, no, there's like 4 things of butter. That was it. The original one shot, one kill. Oh, suck. When do you expect gold and silver to move up to actual market value? What's the trigger? Well, let's see. I finally got it out of the shop. Oh, let's see. It works, but the answer I got was try again later. I have no idea. The problem is gold and silver used to move in tandem. If they went up, both of them went up. If they went down, both of them went down. Both are used industrially. In your phone and your computer or whatever, there's both gold and silver in it. The deal is silver has become a highly precious metal for manufacturing of things like solar panels, which God knows every country out there wants billions of dollars worth of solar panels. So silver is not as interest rate sensitive as gold is. And Jerome Powell coming out the other day saying that they're probably going to continue raising rates means gold is probably not going to move anytime soon. I'd expect, again, my opinion, I'd expect silver to outpace gold here in the next 6 to 12 months. My opinion. Does that mean it goes to $30? No. Does it mean it goes to 25? No. Also, I don't expect silver to go back to 20, but who knows? Judy Who, are silver dimes good to buy? Absolutely. I've said many times, you need to own silver dimes, silver quarters. Some people like silver nickels. Silver nickels are 35% silver. Okay, you can't have them. All right, I've got some, not by choice, by accident. Uh, but silver dimes, silver quarters. If you want half dollars and dollars, that's fine. But dimes and quarters are easier to come by. The, what you're going to look at is this: your silver dimes and silver quarters are going to be your ones and fives, if you will. Maybe your ones, fives, and tens, if you want to compare it to the paper currency we use now. It's going to be your ones, fives, and tens. Your silver rounds, your 1 ounce pieces of silver, those are going to be your 20s. You know, because if you, and I've used this analogy before, if you want to buy a loaf of bread, and let's say in an SHTF situation, a loaf of bread costs $5. Okay, $5 is the equivalent at today's prices of what, maybe about uh, 3 dimes. Okay, thereabouts. So it'd be the equivalent in silver, $5. 3 dimes is right now at today's prices worth around $5. If all you've got is silver rounds and the person you want to buy that loaf of bread from doesn't have any change, you're going to pay what, $24, $25 thereabouts where silver is right now. How are you going to get your $20 in change? Well, you're going to get your $20 in change by getting, $1.20 in or $1.10 in coins. So give you four silver quarters and a silver dime. So having the silver dimes is good to make change with, but it's also good in case somebody can't make change for you and go, well, that's going to be $5 for that loaf of bread, 3 dimes. You go, here, 1, 2, 3 dimes, and you're good. Okay. So having exact change, that's the point of it. Yes, I have constitutional silver, junk silver, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Yes, I have silver rounds as well. Depending on, again, I'll give you one other point on it. With silver dimes and silver quarters and stuff, those are pretty easy to tell. You guys know, if you look at the side of a coin, if it's got like a copper ring on it, there's no silver. If it doesn't have that copper ring, it's silver pre-1965, you're good. Okay. And the people, counterfeiters, are going to have to get really desperate if they start trying to counterfeit dimes and quarters. So I wouldn't worry too much about doing it, about running into counterfeits. Doesn't mean you can't, okay, but I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. Last dimes I was buying, last time I bought dimes was maybe about a month ago, and I was getting a $5 roll of dimes for $100. Okay, so ballpark. And you got to do the math to figure out if it's a good price. Remember, $1.40 in face, so 14 dimes is 1 ounce of silver. Biblical Animal Farm. I like that name. If the government raises land tax to the point we cannot pay it, what do you think we should do? Okay. First off, if they start doing anything like that now, get them out. Remember, your property tax is paid to your county. All right. So it's not the federal government, it's not the state, anything like that. You're paying that at the county level. So, it's pretty easy to walk into the tax assessor's office or walk into City Hall. And, if you don't like the way they're doing things, run against them. Okay. I mean, I got 19,000 people in my county. Now if you live in Cook County, Chicago, or something like that, yeah, I mean, that's a little different. But I'm doubting you're owning a whole lot of property in Cook County. Out here, sure. Again, I said before, you want to make sure you know your state laws, the state constitution. Tennessee state constitution says nobody can raise property taxes more than 2% a year without a vote by the people. Okay. And I really seriously doubt that a bunch of people out in the sticks are going to go, yeah, you know what? That'd be a great idea. Raise our taxes. Okay, right. course, the other says, well, we need more, what, police? Defund the police? Yeah, no, so it's not going to work. But, so the biggest thing to do is get out in front of it and find out what's going on. If they're talking about it, usually when there's a talk about a tax hike, that there will be an open forum where, members of the community can come in and, like a school board meeting or something like that, and be heard as to what their thought is. Because remember, all those people that are sitting there are your neighbors, and they're going, oh my God, the last thing I want to do is piss off all the people that I'm going to run into in Walmart or the grocery store, at the gas station or whatever. So they're more apt to listen. They'll fight for what they think they need. But if the people are like, hell no, again, we have to be loud at this point. I love all the people who go, what are you going to do about it? I think every one of them is a fed on the thing. It's like, well, we just need to go shoot everybody up. Go ahead. Okay. Right. Send me a postcard from prison. Let me know how that goes for you. Okay. No, we don't need to do that. We need to get loud. We need to take over the country. Okay. If it ever gets that far, as I've said many times, I ain't going to start the fight. I'll damn sure finish it. Minyao, what are my thoughts on Phil Godlewski? I don't know who it is, so I guess that would answer that question. Let's see. Reloader, coins from the mint cost double what they're worth. Not a good investment for a stacker. Right, and that's exactly what I was saying. For a stacker, not a good investment. If you're going after numismatic value, you're a collector, that's a different animal. Okay. Original Osuk again. Pinball. I buy my precious metals from AppMax. Who do I like? Who do I like or recommend? Usually BGASC. So it's buy gold and silver coins. BGASC.com. I can usually get the best price from them and the fastest shipping. I'll order something, I'll do an e-check with them, and I'll have my stuff. But if I ordered something today, I'd have everything by the end of the week. Okay. SD Bullion I use. I can occasionally find something that they've got one of Doc's deals, something that's on sale, and I can get a better price. Shipping with them is a little slower. It usually takes about 2 weeks before I get something. I do use JM Bullion sometimes. Nice part about JM Bullion is they do give a military discount or veterans discount in there, so you can check the price out that way and reduce your cost a little bit. But sometimes what you're looking at with each one of them is what they're charging at a premium. Okay, the commissions on it, and it's great that you get a 5% discount or a 10% discount, but when they charge a $5 premium and somebody else is charging a $2.99 premium, you lose it. When somebody's got free shipping and somebody's going to charge shipping, there's a website, and I check this one out all the time, Gainesville Coins. Okay, Gainesville Coins always has the best prices on silver. I never see anybody have better prices than them. The problem is they charge an arm and a leg for shipping. And so by the time I do the calculations, I'm paying $1 more than I would if I'm buying at BGASC or SD or something like that. They got better prices. If I was in Gainesville, I'd go pick it up directly. But if they got to ship it to me, it's more expensive. So you got to add the total cost and see what it's going to be for the same product. I think I've bought from AppMax one time. No problems with them. I just don't find that they have the best prices. Coney Billings, Pinball, e-bikes. Do I have any premium accessory like a sidecar for the Hubstreet Cat? Would seriously consider one, but can't afford two. The extent of the premium accessory I got is for the big bike, the one that I kept. I got the rack for the back of it. that was the premium accessory I got for it. You know, it's not going to haul a sidecar. You know, it'd be kind of hard to pedal a bike when there's something in your way too. So, but yeah, I mean, look around. You know, the ones that I showed you are both good. Don't get me wrong, and I can't speak for a lot of them. Uh, you know, go look on Facebook Marketplace and see what's there. You know, maybe you pick one up used. Some bike shops might have them or things like that too. So, uh, you know, there's a lot of people that will get them and then don't use them, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna try to sell it. So, but you know, see what you got. I think they're a lot of fun to ride. We do have good time cruising around. You know, go up on the other side of town. I mean, like I said, when Brett and I have gone out for rides on these things, we can get safely about 30 miles on, you know, going through up and down gradual hills and things like that. You know, when they're saying, oh, 50 to 55 miles, well, sure, that's great. If, you know, maybe you weigh 80 pounds and there's no wind resistance and you're out in the middle of the salt flats in Utah, you know, the ground is perfectly smooth, maybe you can get 55 miles out of it. But, you know, realistically, 30, 35 miles, but that's still not bad. I mean, it's not going to get me to town and back by any means, but, you know, it'll get me if I have to go down to the lake, let's say, and get jugs of water. I could fill up a couple of jugs of water, put them over the saddle on the side, and I don't have to carry them back. I can actually motor my way back. So, you know, there are uses for it. And, you know, the nice part about it is if you've got a bigger area to patrol in an SHTF event, it's somewhere you can get to quietly. Uh, you know, that's another advantage. Going hot. Poor man's sprinkler system. A case of water above the Freedom Seed dispenser safe. There you go. Franklin Myers, do you have a playlist for all your canning recipes? My tomatoes are going nuts. If you go into the playlist and look at gardening with Mrs. Pinball, or I'm sorry, cooking with Mrs. Pinball, all the recipes in there that I've done are all there. So, and most of them are things to can. The ones she's done, not necessarily, but we did show you how to can borscht, and then stuff I've done, canned stuffed peppers and canned zucchini soup, and the one I did today, you know, chili, whole nine yards. So, but it's all in that playlist. Common sense, Karen, Mr. P, don't you ever speak with her accent. Nope, don't try. You know, it's funny. It's funny every time we're watching a movie or something, and you know, I mean, there's so many movies out there. You watch the action movies, and the bad guys are almost always Russian. And as soon as they start rattling off, I'll look at her and I go, "How's his accent?" And she's like, "It sucks." You know, she can tell right away. It's like, you know, this is an American guy trying to speak with a Russian accent or whatever. Or then, you know, every once in a while she'll pull one. She'll go, "He's a real Russian." You know, so it's kind of interesting because, you know, we can't really pick it because we get so many different accents in the States as is. I mean, you know, you think about the difference between New York and Boston, or Boston and New Orleans, or, you know, Chicago and California, you know. Vicky Savage, isn't that the truth? Nobody is born knowing how to cook, but some learn very early. Yeah, if you want to eat. I know that one. Goose Grouse. Hi, Pinball. The National Center for Home Preservation has recipes for pressure canned zucchini. Okay, that's good to know. I know, God, if you go back into maybe the 60s, the Ball Blue Book had a couple of recipes in there for canning zucchini, and then they dropped it in like the 70s or whatever, and the USDA or something, the FDA said it wasn't safe to can zucchini. And people just kept doing it, you know. So, you know, again, like I've said many times, it's like that tag that you see. You know, this product has been known to cause cancer. You know, the California whatever, you know, like the tag that's on your mattress or on everything. You know, everything in the world is known to cause cancer, according to California. You know, does that mean, oh crap, honey, we can't buy a mattress. We're going to have to sleep on a sheet of plywood? No, you know, it's like the old, what was it? They were saying Diet Pepsi. This, you guys remember this one maybe 40 years ago. Diet Pepsi was found to cause cancer in lab rats. If you gave the lab rat like the equivalent of 400 cases of Diet Pepsi a day or something like that, yeah, they'd get cancer from it. So who knows? Uh, New queen of rap. Top three predictions for 2024. You'll get my top 10 predictions on New Year's Day. So, yeah, not even going to try here this early. But yeah, every year on New Year's Eve, I go back over my New Year's Day predictions for the previous year. And every day on New Year's Day, I give you my top 10 for the following year. So, haven't even given it a thought as of yet. So, uh, Linda Bopp, guess those that drink beer need to make a lot of non-beer drinking friends. There you go. Can I have your two and your two and your two? And on that note, I will wet the whistle. Okay. It's getting warm already. I've been sitting here for 50 minutes. Okay. Terry Hardaway, is AI evolution and control disturbing? Oh, AI. There's some people that think AI is going to be the greatest thing in the world, and then there's those of us with a brain. You know, there are certain things in this world. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. You know, AI is going to put boatloads of people out of work. Okay, you know, Chat GPT or whatever. You know, people go, why do I even need to get an education anymore? If I've got a question, I just go, hey, Google, you know, what's Pythagorean theorem or something? You know, I mean, just pick something and then, okay, and off and running they go. It's going to put people out of jobs. You know, you look at what are they talking about? Who was John Lennon? They were, you know, they were talking about the Beatles making another song with, you know, an AI voice from John Lennon. You look at the Top Gun movie. Val Kilmer's voice was AI in there. They had pieced together a bunch of old stuff of old things he said and pieced that together. It was not his voice. Val Kilmer cannot talk just through a computer. So when he did talk in that movie, it was all computer generated. You know, I don't want a computer generated life. You know, the people should look and go, okay, my phone, my computer, whatever it is a tool to do something. It is not the end all be all to do everything. AI is not going to grow tomatoes for me. AI is not going to cook dinner for me. AI may be able to give me a recipe, but it ain't going to do it. And that's what too many people are like, oh, you know what? Give us 10 years, we'll have robots to do everything for it. Right, and the life expectancy of people will drop down to about 40 years old because nobody will ever get off the couch and they'll be, you know, 6 feet wide. Frank Yawn, can I can chili I made with canned beans? Sure, yeah, no problem. I mean, there's a lot of things that I will do. I mean, like today, I was making that. I showed you guys the soup I made. One of the things that I put in there were canned beans, and actually, it was store canned beans that I had put in that soup, and then also it was pickled garlic that I canned last year. So that's been canned for a year. So yeah, I mean, you can recan things. Procrastinating prepper. I work as a nurse in Brownsville, I'm assuming Texas. It is old but current. Rumors of CV9 from above. Well, yeah, that's not a big surprise. We heard, what was it? There were schools on Friday in in the San Antonio area and in a couple of counties in Kentucky that closed because, oh my God, we're worried about this. And you're gonna see. The funny part was the first thing I thought is, oh my God, they got to be blue counties. And I looked up the one in Kentucky, and both of them went like both counties that these school districts are in went like 80% for Trump. So That'll tell you it wasn't the county, it was the school district. And, because we've got to be afraid of everything. Oh my God, there's my shadow on the ground. Hide, run. You're, my shadow's chasing me. I'm chicken little. We're just chickens. Liberals, cowards. Original Ussuck, thank you for the super chat into the Christmas fund. There you go. We're going to have fun this year. Mrs. P and I were talking about what we're going to do for the Christmas party, month and a half long party. What we're going to do this year. We're still trying to figure this one out. It's got to be better. Got to be a little more creative than last year. Because I don't think I have any more good trivia questions to answer. So I got to come up with an idea. Dawn, love the fedora. Yeah, this is my standard Saturday hat, but every once in a while you guys send me a hat or something like that, and it's like, okay, I gotta wear this one. They're all hanging over there on the rack, so it's like, okay, I can pull one out at any given time. Let's see. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Elidwin Mar. Check new pint ball jars. Mine have stress cracks. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the last thing you want to do is do all the work, put everything in there, throw it in the canner, and the next thing you know, you got a pile of glass in the bottom when you're done. Huts John, damn, the Terminator's coming true, just like Soylent Green. Yeah. This is why I say we've got to, something's got to give, because we can't. Who wants to live in a complete computerized society? I mean, what was the movie? Remember the movie Demolition Man? Okay. And what was it, San Angeles or whatever it was, Sandra Bullock and Benjamin Bratt and was it Rob Schneider? I forget who it was, the other one. And it was just, I mean, talk about a miserable way of life. And that's what they want to go to. I'm more the Edward Friendly guys. I want a damn greasy cheeseburger, and that's it. Yeah, I don't know. It's where some of these idiots want to take humanity makes no sense to me. I look at it and go, how can you seriously look and go, life is going to be better like that? Trying to see if I missed anything. It doesn't look like it. Empress Jennifer SWC, my All-American 930 has the cancer something warning on it. Of course, yeah. Because God knows, if anything that is in California, living is dangerous to your health. Breathing in California is dangerous. Don't drink the water. Don't breathe the air. Don't walk on the sidewalk. Don't do this. Don't do that. Okay, I'll just float around in a little plastic bubble. That's it. Archangel, how long will bottled water last stored in a cool, dark place? I keep hearing different things. You don't want to go, if it's in a cool, dark place, you don't want to go more than about 6 months. And then you need to be rotating that water. Okay. So, if you're putting it in, you're bottling it yourself, juice bottles or milk jugs or whatever it is. Same thing if you're buying Evian or something like that, or Walmart brand water or whatever, you're going to get that leachate from the plastics in there. So, rotate your water. If you've got a stack of water, figure out how much water you go through and keep 6 months on hand. We go through a case of water a week in our household. Okay, buy 26 cases of water, rotate it, and that way, you're always you always have 6 months worth of water, and you're always using the oldest one first. 9:59, 1 minute. So I'm going to see if there's one question. I'm trying to get down to the bottom, see if there's anything new. Storm Chasing Gal says, great chat. Love to Mrs. P and the doggies. Hillbilly says, great live tonight. Thanks, and mods. Good night, all. And Empress Jennifer says, I'm in Canada and the canner is made in Wisconsin. Why is there a health warning on a pressure canner? I know, it's ridiculous. All right, guys, it is 10 o'clock. Y'all have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning. God knows what's going to happen tonight. Have fun. Pinball out.